Berserk of Gluttony Part 2. Just as she disappears, a bandit rushes out towards him. He is perplexed about whether he should run but decides to stay and fight because Lady Roxy trusted him with the spot. He uses the tip of the flagpole to stab through the chest of the bandit and kill him. Just then, a voice claims that his gluttony skill has been activated and appraisal and mind reading have been added to his skills. Lady Roxy returns to check up on Fate and he is able to hear her thoughts. She thanks him and offers him opportunity to work at the House of Heart, and he accepts the offer. Later that night, he wonders what his power means. The next day, he decides to take his 2 silver coins to purchase a sword, but is told that 2 silver can only select from the scrap swords. He inspects them and utilizes his appraisal abilities. He comes across a sword that speaks to him. The sword introduces itself as greed and claims that they are similar, convincing him to buy it. The Valericks discussed fate leaving them to work for the House of Heart. Mabel expresses her hate, saying they should teach Lady Roxy a lesson. But Raphael claims there are plenty of replacements for him and they shouldn't butcher their relations. Mamil also questions him about his research and he claims to be researching to obtain an immortal body. Fate wanders with his sword out in the wilderness. Just then, a goblin attempts to attack him, but he uses his sword to slash through and kill the goblin. Fate's gluttony skill is activated and he has an increase in stats and a boost in strength. Fate turns over to see many more hefty and armed goblins. The sword laughs, telling him that each one is 100 goblins. They charge at Fate, but he tactfully takes them down and has multiple gluttony skill activations. The sword brings it to his notice that he isn't hungry as he reflects on his skills increase. The sword explains that the gluttony skill devours status in exchange for skills. That's why he doesn't gain any experience and he stays on level 1. The sword tells him that they are the same kind of instructs him to keep anyone from finding out his power as gluttony is a skill that violates God's principles. The sword proclaims Fate as his master and pledges to fight by his side. The sword tells Fate to collect the goblin ears and exchange them for coin. Fate decides to use the coin to get a good meal, but the sword insists he spend them to bring him back into shape. Just then, Fate bumps into a man dragging a little girl along. The little girl asks him for help and he follows them into a warehouse. He sees the man terrorize the girl and threaten to sell her as a slave to the Holy Knights. Fate watches from behind, infuriated as he comes up with a plan to save her.